Have you ever spent $50 on an oil change? That's ridiculous. You can do the work yourself. Edmunds says that it's a simple process that takes a few tools. Those tools are a socket wrench, sockets, an oil filter wrench, a funnel, an oil drain pan, and then you'll need a service manual. This will be where you get your information. Then, depending on your vehicle, you might need to suspend it. And if you need to get it up in the air to reach everything, you can use jack stands. Or AutoZone recommends that you use ramps. I personally prefer ramps. But for today, I don't need to lift this vehicle at all. It's already high enough off the ground to where I can reach what I need to. Then you're going to need some supplies. You're going to need an oil filter because we'll be changing this. And then you're going to need oil. You can find this in your service manual, or the old one is probably on there and you can pull the numbers from that. So, now that you have everything that you need, it's time to make sure that you're going to be safe. You need to make sure your vehicle's off, in park, and have your wheels chalked, because nothing is worse than having that vehicle move while you're underneath it. So, after you've done that, you can go get your gross clothes on, so if it gets messy, it doesn't matter. Now that you have your clothes on that you need for this, you need to locate three things. You need to know your drain plug location, your oil filter location, and your fill port location. Your drain plug will be on the bottom of your vehicle on the side of the oil pan. Then once you know that location, you take your drain pan, place it underneath where your drain plug is, and then it's time to take it off. So you're going to take your ratchet in the socket of the correct size, and you're going to twist that bolt off and break it loose, and then you can twist it off the rest of the way by hand. Once you get to about the end of the bolt, you're going to want to be ready to pull away quick, because as soon as that plug comes out, it's going to pour out fast, and that's when you create the mess. So, now it's going to be draining since you pulled the plug. Now that it's draining, you can go on to your oil filter. You'll use your oil filter wrench to break it loose, and then you will twist it off by hand and then just pull it off. Take the old oil filter with the old oil in it, dump the old oil into the oil pan, and then you're done with that filter. It's time to refill the oil now. So you're going to put your drain plug back in by screwing it in by hand and then tightening it down with your ratchet. Then you're going to take your oil filter and you're going to fill this with oil, and then make sure that gasket has oil around it. Screw it on by hand, and then tighten it down with this. Now that it's time to fill, you can remove the cap, your fill cap, and pour your oil into the top. You should know the amount based on what your service manual says. So, you pour that in. You can use a funnel or not. Either way is fine. And then you just put your cap back on when you have in the right amount. So, now that you have your oil back in there, it's time to take your old oil and do something with it. So slide it out from the bottom, take your funnel and your old jug of oil, and you're going to put your funnel on the top of that, and you can put your old oil into the jug for transport. AutoZone says that as long as it's in a travel-safe container, they can take it and dispose of it properly. So you don't have to worry about it, and that's less mess for you to handle. So, now you know how to drain your oil, change what you need to, and then you know how to fill it back up and dispose of your oil properly.